changing. And if you go by number of people, maybe you have more people in that. Of course, then your dampers are opening more fresh air. Now, if you have leakage, if I put in there like a 10% leakage of those dampers, all that savings goes away. I mean, just amazing. I thought I had done something wrong in the calculation. It's just the leakage is a killer. You know, if you go up on the roof and the dampers are closed and you see through them, chances are you got to replace those dampers because you're heating the great outdoors. So that's just a neat tool. It's been around a long time. We've had different versions of this for years. Once again, on a green building, this is the way to do it. All right, and I didn't show you the Honeywell website since I am online. You can get into there really quickly. It is a work in progress. It's customer.honeywell.com. And you want to make sure you check up here. Make sure it says HTTPS. Because you can go to HTTP, customer.honeywell.com, and it looks the same, and it looks like it's working, but it isn't. So if you just put in customer.honeywell.com, it takes you to the secure site. And that's where you want to be. I'm not sure why the other site exists or why it's like that, but I remember when I first got onto the system, I couldn't do anything, and it's all, make sure you put the S in there. Oh yeah. So I had a pre-done link. I had to take that link out and put a new one. You have to log in really to see everything. But if you don't log in, you will not get pricing. But you can get the tools and things like that. And the tools are under support and resources. It is commercial and residential. And if I want estimating tools, click on estimating tools. And there's that fast track tool. There's the VFD tool. There's a takeoff services stuff and the damper pricing tool. They're all right here. Just grab them from this site and download. Now to get into the training, you need to be signed in. And I'll log in here. Get to the home screen. I'm not real happy with this login button up here. I use this one. What happens is I start typing, and I type with one finger, so I'm too slow, and it just closes that. So I can't have to start over again each time, so I go down here. I use my kid's name and their birthday as the password. And when you type with one finger, you like names like Dana, Kate, but after you use it, you can't use them again. So now I get the long name kids. So I'm like, get in there. Okay, and this is something you won't see. This gives me the ability to imitate my customers. So I can put in there Jackson Control, I become Bob White, and I can place orders and stuff like that for them. So if my business is down a little bit and I need to pick up, I just go in there, sign in as Bob, and place some orders. I don't remember ordering these things. Anyway, if I go into training now, once you're signed in, on the residential training, you have access to everything without signing in, pretty much everything. On the commercial side, you have to be signed in to get it. But if I want to access the e-learning modules, oh, I got some new ones. The EEO tool set and training and so on for EEO and the energy stuff. Sales fundamentals, web vision overview. HVAC fundamentals for those of you who are new in this. I can click on HVAC fundamentals. If you've taken the class it'll say restart. If you take a little bit of it, it'll say continue. Open means I haven't done it yet. What happened was when they changed over the system, all my ones that I had done disappeared. So they all say open now for me, which is fine. Means I can take them over again and tell them lost it in training. It does give you a report that you've done these things, so that if you do have a manager who wants to make sure you train, it will track you. So let's say I want to open this one here, HVA systems. I can't read it on the screen.
Welcome to the Honeywell HVAC Fundamentals Training Series. This session covers the fundamentals of an HVAC system. Let's get started. In this training module, we'll look at the primary functions of the system, cover some basic HVAC terminology, and see how the concepts can be applied in a sample
how much
application.
seconds it takes for each one, or minutes for each of these slides. And unfortunately, it doesn't go on its own. You have to hit there and keep hitting the button to tell it to go past to the next slide. But it is a great course.
Simply focusing on
on
individual components
VFDs,
isn't
web
enough.
vision
It's
controllers,
important to get a look at
building
HVAC
management,
systems in the big picture
the
to
new
better
EO
understand how
program.
components work together, identify problems, and develop more effective solutions.
This is the neatest thing. And it's available to our contractors who are set up on our system, and you guys are set up, and our distributors, of course.
One thing, I went through a lot of days when I first started here, and I also liked the little notes tab over there to follow along with. That's a great little piece also. I use a Macintosh, and I had to go back through every time I logged in and refresh to get the audio to come through. So just a little trick there.
Very good. That's how you use that particular thing, and it's on IT and networking. There is some information on that, so if you're doing a little bit of, and we're in that business now, whether we like it or not, you got to do some
Welcome
IT.
to Honeywell Training. This session covers the fundamentals of IT and networking. Let's get started.
This is real basic. It gets into ports and it gets into routers and things like that, just so you understand, so when the IT guy starts throwing terminology at you, it doesn't snow you. In fact, I took a course in college on IT and computers, and computers were new back then. They didn't have laptops. They didn't even have PCs. Everything was mainframe. That was old. We just stepped up from the abacus, and one of the class basically was, it's a business course. It was so the IT guy doesn't snow you. Was the basic reason for being in that class, so that he can come in there and he isn't saying, "Oh, you need this, this, and this," and you really don't. So, yeah, I was an engineering student, so I had an electrical engineering degree. And the first day you start programming the computer, it was like, okay, here's the program I want you to run. So you had to learn Fortran, and it was punch cards. You had this punch cards on a big key punch, big machine. It would stack up cards like this for each line of code. And you bring that to the guy behind the counter, and he would run it through the mainframe. It was such a blessing when they invented terminals. You guys are like, "Ah, that's primitive." But when a terminal came out in a phone modem, like night and day. Of course, if you had you had like 60 of these things in a room, and you have all the students on it at the same time, you type in something, and you had to wait, because the computer talks to this terminal, response. It talks to that one, responds to that. It just rotates. That's how computers work then. This is so fast, it's unbelievable. My cell phone's faster than that computer was. And that was a big, I think it was a WAN computer, or a digital computer, DEC. But that was technology back then. And I worked for Honeywell when I was coming from MBA, and I went to Honeywell used to have computers. We were the other computer company, was our nickname. And it was IBM and the Seven Dwarfs back then. And we were as many main